All right, here we go. Betting Weekly Live here with you on a Thursday. Mike Carver along with Doug Kezirian as we get you ready for all of tonight's action. Final night of NBA for about a week as we get ready for All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles coming up. Get your Jackson Hayes dunk contest tickets ready for Saturday night. But we will do that tomorrow. We have 3 games tonight to get through. First, we have a ton of college hoops. Not any ranked games, but me and Doug have we have gone through the slate, and we have got some mid-major action tonight. Some good women's games as well. We are going to discuss the hockey, too, as the Olympic hockey is going on right now, actually. United States, end of one. Both teams to score in the first. A winner, as Latvia scored as well. So 1-1. The United States scored 2 other goals. Both were taken off the board after challenges by the Latvia team. There you go, 40. USA Latvia, BTTS. Check it off. And, Doug, I guess I should also say, unfortunately, we did lose our run at the best bets. Listen, the Daily Double, we still got a chance for another gentleman's sweep this week. We had a gentleman's sweep last week. We can go for another one this week. And you had a smash job with the Jazz last night. And unfortunately, this Grand Canyon team comes all the way back from down 20, takes the lead, and then can't make a bucket in the last 5 minutes of the game. It was awful, Doug. Hi, how are you?
I really thought we were going to get there because sometimes you have these huge comebacks and teams can't get over the hump, right? They can't take the lead, and that ends up being such a painful experience. And you often convince yourself like, oh, if they just taken the lead. Well, they actually did take the lead this time and then gave it right back. So give New Mexico credit. The little white guy hit a bunch of shots, but it was right there for the taking. Grand Canyon just, nobody wanted to take a big shot. A lot of late shot clock chucks, so to speak. Either way, like you said, gentleman's sweep. We'll take the 4 out of 5 if we can get it. We're on to Cincinnati, but we really should have been on to Cincinnati yesterday because they killed K-State. Nonetheless, we turned the page.
Not a good scene at the Little Apple last night for Kansas State there in that one. And we will keep our eye on the hockey as well as they start the second period in a couple of minutes out there in Milan with those. There actually is another game going on, too, as Denmark and Germany are tied 1-1 there at the end of the first. Canada with an easy 5-0 win over the Czechs earlier today. So their Olympic tournament off to a good start. But let's close the book, Doug, on the NBA before the All-Star break. We had a huge night last night with tons of games and just 3 for us to look at this evening. So I know I've kind of been bringing this up with you all week. Like, I would feel this tonight, like these 6 teams have to be so annoyed that they're playing tonight and everybody else is already done. And I know that's the way it goes. You've got the Prime Video doubleheader, etc. But this has got to be, if you're going to get a night this week where teams are like, enough of this already, this has to be the night.
It reminds me of college when my last final was like December 22nd or 1st. And like all my fraternity brothers were done like on the 19th and 18th and just raging in like the basement in the lounge. And I'm sitting there having to study with one more exam left. So these 6 got to be just in pain knowing that everyone's in LA for All-Star Weekend. But the Jazz saying enough is enough. We can't have these blowout wins. They shut down Jaren Jackson for the season with surgery. Lauri Markkanen, let's forget that there's a week off of rest. He's got to rest tonight, so he's out as well. Thunder are shutting guys down as well. To your point, Carver, I'm very gun-shy tonight. I do think there's some opportunities. But again, a lot of that is playing mental gymnastics and sort of trying to I don't know, find the stars to align, but it's definitely proceed cautiously.
Yeah, you got a couple teams tonight, bones for the buzzard situation here. There is just some teams that are not rolling the full squad out. Let's start with what do we got first? This prime doubleheader, Milwaukee at OKC. We'll go there. So Milwaukee actually won last night in Orlando against the Magic. Now they go to OKC minus 11.5 for the Thunder here. Actually, I got it now at 12 at Bet Rivers. Just moved as I was talking to you. And as you mentioned, let's see, obviously no SGA, of course, Williams, Hartenstein, lots of guys out for the Thunder. It looks like the Bucks might have a couple guys down as well. 11.5 and 213.5 the total.
I don't know what to make of this because Jalen Williams, who we nailed with the points prop yesterday, he's now out for a while with surgery. Obviously, no SGA. They're also sitting Hartenstein. And then no AJ Mitchell. So who's going to get the points? Cason Wallace just, in transition after a steal with a bucket. I don't know what to think. You mentioned the Bucks, and I was looking, hey, we might have an opportunity here with Cam Thomas. He just got claimed off waivers, blah, blah, blah. Well, of course, the Bet Rivers odds makers think like I do. 16.5 is his points prop. So I don't know what to think here. I just was getting excited because Doc Rivers after the game said, he's had a couple Sixth Man of the Year award winners, right? Particularly Jamal Crawford. He says, well, now Cam Thomas is my guy, and he goes for 34. I just 16.5 is a little much, but he's a gunner. I mean, he's made for an off-the-bench score kind of thing, like a microwave Vinnie Johnson style. In terms of the point spread and over-under, I don't know. I mean, just like we were talking about, teams 1 foot out the door. Thunder are pretty solid, I will say that, but 11.5 for a Bucks team. Now, we got to check the status of Rollins and Kuzma, both doubtful or questionable, excuse me. Probably Bucks plus the points, excuse me, but no rush to the window here.
Yeah, hard for me to get involved with the Bucks and the Thunder tonight.
What about Derry Bird? Do we get involved there? 3.5 plus money on the over. That's a lot.
3.5, huh? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I think if there's anything, I may play these under totals tonight in these games. I think that's the only thing that I can think of if I was going to go any in the NBA this evening. I think 213.5. Like these guys got to be checked out. Especially the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks actually won a game last night, which is so rare for them. They're really going to be interested this evening in OKC? I can't see.
Yeah, I mean, Doc's not a tanking kind of coach because he's so short-lived, and I don't know if he really cares about the future. Now, he may be able to excuse it because he finds excuses. So if they lose a bunch, he's like, well, Giannis can come back. This is what management wants.
Can't do it.
Yeah. Let's not force anything.
Can't do it. Don't have to force it. The later game on Prime will be the Mavs and the Lakers, the last two that got to play before the week off this evening. Of course, we know the Mavs aren't going to have Cooper Flag now. The Lakers, no Luka, right? I think Luka's already out for this evening. I guess a couple of their other guys will get back in. -6 for LA, 235.5.
So this is interesting because I thought the Mavs showed me something in their comeback against Phoenix. They were down like 30 after one or something insane and came all the way back and lost by 9. Cooper Flag's out for a while, going to undergo surgery, so not part of festivities this weekend. For me, it's about Najee Marshall. I think he's listed as questionable, so we got to get him to suit up and play. But it's really hard to use past performance and project what's going to happen because Flags missed like 1 or 2 games and Marshall's missed 1 game. So we just don't know what this Mavs team looks like without Najee Marshall and without Cooper Flag. Now we can connect some dots. There's been a couple games, like I just alluded to, without Flag. If Marshall's out, I'd look to Caleb Martin, but if he doesn't start, like his rebounds were kind of fluky because they do have PJ Washington and Gafford in the lineup. So I think Caleb Martin's rebounds are skewed high. I mean, he played like 11 minutes, I want to say, in the last game. So under 3.5 could be a stupid sort of small pizza money bet because I just think odds makers are lost. So I'm going to take plus 120 on a 6'5" forward, not to get rebounds. So I just think the Lakers also are kind of a mess. They have no defense, right? Their best players do not play defense. You just can't have that, right? Just think about the focus or lack thereof with the Lakers. They have the Mavs coming to town without Cooper Flag. Okay. They have All-Star Weekend in LA. The parties have already started. Their best players don't play defense. So LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. The one guy that sometimes does protect the rim is Jackson Hayes, and he's in the dunk contest. So clearly this afternoon, they're probably working on routines and which teammate's going to throw a lob and whatnot. So I just have to bet the Mavs first quarter, first half team total. Now, we did this with the Nets a couple of weeks ago on the road, where the Lakers were on the road, and it was a disaster. So I would just be careful here. But I think the Mavs, if Najee Marshall plays, okay, that's the key here for me. I think they can go up and down on this team because they just lost, but I thought they showed some fight in the second half. I was impressed. I think they're going to be less likely to have the senioritis here going into the All-Star break. It's a big number, but the Mavs are just going to chuck and duck. And they got a bunch of guys who are kind of fighting for, I don't know, roster spots, Brandon Williams, Matt Christie, all that stuff. So I think their attention and focus will be much more intact than the Lakers, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I think this total's too high, and I know it's a Laker game, and that's probably what I mean. We're talking. What is it? 135 and a half. 235 and a half. Doug, I can't. That seems way too much for.
It does. It does.
For potentially us, getting out the door. And I know you like the Mavericks with these team totals early, but going over. But for the game, this is too much for me. I think I like this under this evening.
Be a layup line though, but you're right. No Luka. I mean, that takes a lot out of the Lakers' steam offensively. I mean, they were pathetic the other night. It's not like LeBron and Reeves. I mean, we probably should be betting Reeves props. He really goes off when there's no Luka, and he's had a few games back to adjust for back in the NBA to get the speed of things and everything. They don't
even have the Laker guys up.
They don't even have those Laker players up. Who knows?
But look, this is. If Marshall doesn't play too, is this really 235? I don't know. I like this under. I think I'm going to take the under tonight in this game between the Mavs and the Lakers. There you go. I did get in on something with the NBA this evening. The third game, the Blazers, who got opinions on the under with the Lakers. There you go, Daryl. Gave it the opinions on the under with the Lakers.
You have just one, Daryl, or is it kind of like we got a couple. Newhart with my other brother Daryl, other brother Daryl.
Well, we have a few.
So that's nice.
That is.
Yeah.
We got a few Daryls that check in the chat box. A guy called A. Hi, both. Hi, guy. Guy called A. I'm telling you, it's just summer league in the winter. Frankie the Fixer. I don't know if it's that far, summer league in the winter, but it might be wrong. Close. Frankie the Fixer. No summer league grand total would be 235. I like this under a lot. The Blazers, who got just smashed in Minnesota last night, into Utah against the Jazz. Blazers are 7.5-point road favorites. This is another big total for a getaway day, 234.5. And I think you mentioned Utah's, they're emptying the cupboard tonight, or they're putting everybody on the shelf tonight, right, Doug? I should say. They're putting everyone.
So Jackson's out for the year. Markkanen's got rest tonight, and then we already know Keontae George is out. So, I mean, the Blazers should win, but they've been so bad on the road, and they're so much better at home. They have a home court advantage where they catch teams on road trips and everything, but this has to be a bounce-back spot for Portland, although Shaedon Sharpe, I believe, is out. I know we like our overs in Utah, and they get up and down, but that's a big number. So I'm going to lay off.
Okay.
But it is very tempting. It's very tempting.
Great cap on the Jazz first half yesterday. It was a great cap.
I mean, look at I said it's the best NBA game I've seen in a long time. The more I texted some guys who actually bet six figures, and I said, look, I know it's good. I'm going to regret this, but I haven't seen an NBA game I like this much. So it just worked out well. We have somebody in the chat who basically chased. I don't think he chased because it was like the best NBA game in a while. And I had a huge, plan to play back, and I didn't need to play back. When you're up 35, that you're really just making a separate bet when the line's like 5.5 for the game. I just think those are going to come around once or twice a season. So you got to just be careful.
Got to be careful there. Like the under in all three NBA games, Daryl. I like them in two. I'm at those two that are in the 230s.
We checked the NBA scoreboard from a year ago.
if you can get that up, Doug, I will. We're going to get the last night before the All-Star break and see if we had a dead zone on that night with all of those games. You do have one more future here before I move on from the NBA, at least for today.
Like a lot of overs, to be honest.
Oh, yeah? A lot of overs.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay. Fair enough. How about a little rookie of the year action here? Who knows? Maybe Flag's
Yeah,
going
so
to
I was
be out
thinking
for a
about
while.
this. Obviously, what came up in our shows and our chat the last couple of days was six man, and so many of these awards get a final push before. It's not quite the Heisman. Nothing. That's the gold standard. The Heisman, in terms of fickle market. What have you done for me lately? Literally, last 3 weeks is all that matters. The season long. Um, I'm trying to think of the word body of work does not matter. Like Stafford won because of the body of work and not what he did the last month of the season, right? That's refreshing. That does not happen to Heisman. So that's clearly, but in the rookie, I don't know. Like, I think if Flag misses considerable time, I mean, we realize Kneppel's the best 3-point shooter, maybe as a rookie in the history of the NBA. And I know Flag's outstanding and Flag's probably going to win it. But I think with this injury, and what Charlotte's doing, I think there's a conversation to be had. It's not like Kneppel's totally random. I mean, he came from Duke. Now he wasn't get the attention that Flag did, but there's a path here. Now, what you figure out with these, it's not 1/5 because you think 5-1. It's 1/6 is how you figure out the math of these things. So that's 16.5%, right? It's half of 1/3. Because 2/6 would be 33%. So 1/6 would be 16.5%. I think that's probably a fair number. I think it's like probably 20%, maybe 25. I mean, look, rookie surgery. I mean, it's hard because Flag goes for 49 last week or 2 weeks ago, so he's outstanding. But Kneppel would win it so many other years. He
I
probably
was just
doesn't
going
win
to
it.
say that.
Don't have the minimum games thing here for rookie, but I mean, who knows what he does the rest of the year? He's getting better, and he's obviously surrounded by more talent now that the guys are coming back from injury, like Brandon Miller. The guy can shoot and he can play. He was NBA ready coming out. It's at least worth having the conversation, I guess.
I was just going to say that to you because it is unfortunate for him because he's having a year that most years, like, he's the minus money favorite right now, right? I mean, that's how good of a year he's having. He's been that good as a rookie. It's unfortunate for him. It's the same year that Flag is out there.
Yeah, I wonder, can we take away Michael Carter-Williams, Rookie of the Year, and give it to Kneppel?
Take all let's go back the last 10, 15, 20
Brogdon.
years and take all the
Brogdon
guys
is another
who
one.
shouldn't have, who, any other year wouldn't have won and award it to Kneppel instead for it. So there you go. A little plus 500.
And by the way, it just hit Abdi is questionable tonight for the Blazers, so maybe the under is the way. I just be careful laying that kind of lumber because the Jazz do have a second unit, right? Those guys play hard, sense of ball, all those guys, they can bomb. And I think Will Hardy's. I think we're a couple games away. I don't think he can pull the. I'm going to send 4 guys out instead of 5. My team's on the floor. That could happen in the final week of the season. So I don't think that happens tonight.
There you go. Final night of the NBA before the All-Star break for us on Betting Weekly Live. Of course, it is February, and Bet Rivers has got you covered. February fun bet. Tennis, soccer, basketball, whatever sport you're following right now, bet on it with a February fun bet. Betting Weekly and Bet Rivers have teamed up to give you a $10 bonus bet when you enter the bonus code BW201. That code again, BW201. Offer expires on February 15th. Must be 21. Eligible players only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. February fun bet at Bet Rivers. Still 1-1 about 5 minutes into the second period in Milan for Team USA. Latvia was just on the power play, came up empty.
It was 2-0 USA.
It was, and they took the goal off the board.
That's what they took off the board. Okay.
That was an offsides, and then it was tied at 1, and then USA scored again, and they took another one off the board. So they had 2 goals taken away in the first period.
Wasn't this plus 950, the exact score after 1, or was that the 2-1?
I think the 1-1 was plus 950, honestly. I think that was the one that had the
saying.
And I think we either said, oh, USA is going to score more than 1 goal. I was like, USA will score 2-1, 3-1, and they did, but unfortunately, the refs, and they were good. By the way, I thought they were good callbacks too. I don't think it was. They were decent callbacks, both of them. There was definitely offsides on the first. The second was, the international rules and the NHL rules are slightly different with the guy being in the crease, and JT Miller was in the crease, so they call it back. All right, college hoops for tonight. We have got no ranked games, Doug, but a plethora of some of our favorite mid-major conferences, whether it be the Big West, the Horizon, the Metro Athletic. We have got all these conferences in action. So let's get involved here. And we'll start in the Horizon because I feel like out of all these, maybe we've gone there a little bit more than others. And one of your favorites, Green Bay, with Doug Gottlieb in action at home against Purdue Fort Wayne this evening. This is now a pick'em here with a 145.5 total.
I think the mayor is probably going to win Coach of the Year if things continue, but Doug Gottlieb lurking if he can continue this trend. He's been really impressive this last couple months. It's rare to see the mid-season pivot from a second job of a radio show host to no job. So he's been focused on the coaching. Things are going well. I think they get the win here. Purdue Fort Wayne's played a little better of late, but I just think this line's too cheap. Green Bay won by a decent amount in the last meeting, and I just think this team's playing so much better. They can shoot the heck out of the ball, and he's got a lot of offensive sets. You got to realize he's a son of a coach, played point guard. He's been in basketball forever. He coached the Maccabee games. Like, this is not just like, it's not Skip Bayless all of a sudden becoming a head coach in college basketball. Okay. Like, let's just recognize this guy knows what he's doing. And, you know, teams are getting better throughout the season. I just think there's line value here in this situation. They're all sort of middle of the pack, right? So there's the top two in the conference with Wright State and Oakland, and then Purdue Fort Wayne, Green Bay, Bobby Moe, maybe. But I mean, I just think, I mean, they won by 18 at Purdue Fort Wayne, and Green Bay's been playing actually better the last few weeks. They had the one loss at home where we were actually on the dog, and then they lose to the best team by 8. I think this is the right side. I think this line should be like 3.5.
There you go. Let's stay. I'm going to jump around. Let's stay because we have another Horizon game on our list here, and that is Bobby Moe, who is at the Vikings tonight of Cleveland State. Bobby Moe, 3.5-point road favorites here, 153.5 the total.
I don't know what's going on with this Cleveland State team. All of a sudden, they flipped the switch, and they're 5-1 straight up in their last 6. The lone loss was their last game. So, but that was at the last place team. I get it, but they run a track meet and everything, and maybe it was just a bad game for Cleveland. Excuse me. So bad game for Cleveland State. When you play the team that wants to play in the 90s, sometimes you can just kind of like the style of the game can get the best of you or whatever. And they were only 8 of 35 from 3. So I mean that there's always that factor, right? Like yesterday, who did I have on the money line that just couldn't make a shot? Iowa was like 6 of 35 or something, and that happens, right? There's nothing you do there. Wide open looks from everything I was watching. So I think Cleveland State's the play. I think they win the game outright.
Cleveland State at home against Bobby Moe. We're not done with the Horizon. How about a little Detroit Mercy visiting Wright State tonight? Wright State laying the lumber 10.5, 153.5.
This is a lean. Feels like a really high total. Now, the first meeting did go land 166. So maybe it's not too high, but it's the third straight road game for Detroit. And Wright State is better, and Detroit's not that great. And Wright State can't mess around because Oakland is right on their heels. And we all know Oakland from Jack Golke going bananas in the tournament against Kentucky. And this is his dad still coaching. Very good coach. I just think it's too many points. I think this is going to sneak under the total, but it's merely a lean. Nothing crazy. I think it's a good revenge angle for Detroit, plus the points because they lost at home. But I think I'd need more to bet against this Wright State squad. Again, one that's incentivized to keep playing.
Absolutely are. Let's go to the Metro Athletic, the MAC, the other MAC with the double A's, where Merrimack is in first place in that conference right now as they get ready to take on Marist tonight, who's also near the top half of the league. This is Merrimack minus 2.5. Let me read this like 129.5. Look at that total.
Long time ago, 20 years ago, I had a buddy who I think we were talking about NFL totals, and he said, this is a can't miss betting trend. You take the highest total on the board, you bet over. You bet the lowest one on the board, bet under. There's always sort of like bettors that can't wrap their heads around the numbers, that the numbers should be more extreme. I don't know if that's true. I probably should just look at it every week and kind of chuckle how that trend did. But in this case, sometimes, I mean, because it's been bet up a little bit, I think should be like 121. These teams are it's like old school, like those black and white video. The Celtics with you know, the Celtics just like a bunch of Dr. Fauci's running around dribbling the ball and all those footage. So I think it's just going to be a bad rock fight basketball. And yeah, they're a gift. Thank you. So just keep in mind they played once before, and they had 49 free throws combined, 41 of 49. So really good shooting from the free throw line. But their last few games, I mean, this season, Merrimack 18-7 to the under, Marist 15-8 to the under, and then recent form, Marist 6-1 to the under, and Merrimack 5-1 to the under. So their numbers can't get there. We might have a boatload of free throws, and that's how the first meeting went over. But other than that, I think it's just Brick City. It's a sweat. I wouldn't consider watching because I don't think it's going to land under 120. But it's kind of like women's basketball, right? Like 4 points is like 3 minutes of game action sometimes. So you just got to sweat it out and hope there's not a million free throws. Maybe break it up first half, see what happens, and then go second half under. But again, the free throws are what did it the first time. Maybe the ref swallows the whistle a little bit. We shall see.
Marist and Merrimack here tonight in the MAC getting involved. Let's go to the Valley. Missouri Valley, where Northern Iowa was very good to me last week. Tonight they are at Belmont. Belmont, of course, has been great, 22-4. They did lose, though, their last game out, that overtime game with Bradley, which flew over for us. I remember having that night. Tonight, Belmont's minus 5.5, 138.5 is the total. Now, I was looking at this as, Doug, Belmont off a loss, going home. Will we get a big performance from them? Tell me if I'm right or wrong here.
Maybe. Sometimes these teams that are on a roll get broken, and then they don't have quite the same bounce in their step. That's why I say sometimes they come in pairs, right? We saw that with Nebraska, excuse me. I lean to the dog. Okay, so this is Arch Madness. Remember, that's around the corner. That starts a week earlier for Champ Week. And there's like double buys, and not everybody makes it one of those tournaments. So I would say be careful because UNI needs this game badly. And I think it could be a dogfight that comes to the end. So I only lean to the Panthers here. I'm not betting it.
United States has made it 2-1 against Latvia as Brock Nelson just scored. They are not going to be taking that one off the board. That was a pretty move by him. And I was just about to say to you while it was 1-1, Doug, I've been watching the line, and they had a -2.5 at -114. And I was going to say to you, we saw Sweden play around for 2 periods yesterday and then pour it on in the third. Should we think about the U.S.? And look, it's -3.5 at +112. But we'll wait and see. If it's still 2-1 after the second, maybe I'll think about it and see where the number's at. But USA has finally surged ahead here in this one. All right, I'll give you a couple for you. You know that I love this Stonehill team. They've been one of my favorites so far this year out of the Northeast Conference. They've got it a couple of times. They're 1.5-point road favorites at Chicago State. Chicago State is awful. They're dreadful. So should I be thinking, Doug, why is this only 1.5 if Chicago State is so bad? Now, Stonehill, they ain't nothing great either. They're 9-16, but in the conference, they're 6-6. They've been a 500 team. Chicago State's 3-9 in the conference. Back my Stonehill squad again here.
Did you catch the K-State game yesterday? So sometimes these lines are just super low for no reason because the home court advantage is prioritized too much. I think if you like Stonehill,
I'm playing it.
Roll with it.
I'm playing it. I'm going to go Stonehill tonight. I think I've played him twice, and I've hit both times with him. We're going to try. This is dipping our toe in with Stonehill again here in the NEC on the road at Chicago State. And then I like the Big West tonight. Of course, Thursday nights are for the Big West. Hawaii, man, it's gone up to 13.5 now at Cal State Bakersfield. You know that I've watched this stuff, Doug, with Hawaii when they come mainland. This is their 4th trip coming mainland in conference play. The pattern seems to be the first game of the trip, they win and win convincingly. The second game of the trip is where they kind of struggle a little bit or lose outright. Now, they're at the top of the Big West. They're 17-5 this year. They've been great. They destroyed Bakersfield at their place about a month ago. I love this tonight. Could be the best bet. Hawaii minus 13.5 at Cal State Bakersfield.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, did you learn anything from my experience last night? Although I had the home team. It was a big number I laid for a team that lost outright. It's not quite embarrassing. I mean, it happens, right? Like,
right.
Big Ten is, I mean, Penn State almost beat Michigan. I got no opinion. It's a big number. I more like laying it with Hawaii at home, and teams just can't, adjust to the travel and everything.
I just look, first game of a rotary, they went to Riverside, they won by 40. First game when they went mainland, they went to Cal Poly, they won by 20. They've been okay in the first leg for whatever reason against bad to mediocre teams in that conference, which Cal State Bakersfield's the worst team in the Big West. So that's kind of where I'm going to lay my hat tonight. Hawaii minus the 13.5 against Cal State Bakersfield. So there you go. Good night. Let's do the ladies, though. The ladies are on this evening as well, as they've got some good games tonight on their side, including Texas. Number 4, Texas making the trip to number 5, Vanderbilt. Texas minus 9.5. The road favorites for 4 versus 5, Doug. Please tell me about this.
That's a hefty line. Look, Texas is a good squad. Okay. Vic Schaefer knows what he's doing, but this Vandy team's been solid and frisky and all that good stuff. I mean, this is a top 5 showdown. I think I lean to the points here. I will say Vandy got outclassed at South Carolina. Lost by 29. But again, that was on the road. They played Ole Miss at home, lost, but they've beaten Kentucky on the road. They beat 10th ranked Oklahoma at home convincingly. They've answered the call. I thought the win over Michigan was impressive too, because I've watched Michigan quite a bit. So this Vandy team knows what they're doing. It's a mere lean, but I'd be careful laying the lumber here.
All right. I'm with you. Look, I haven't obviously watched a lot of the Texas and Vandy ladies this year, but just looking at what Vandy's done and 23-2 at home, it's a lot of points for.
I have a confession, Carver.
Uh-oh.
I feel bad. So just know that I made the mistake and I bet it wrong myself. Okay. The pick I gave out yesterday was the wrong team. I was supposed to be the favorite.
Okay.
I literally read my text wrong. I bet the wrong team too.
Okay.
And I bet it quite a bit. So it happens about once or twice a season.
And just to catch everybody up, West Virginia won by about 70 in that game.
So it was about 45, I think. I laid 25. I found a good number. I took 25.5.
Okay.
That was the wrong.
The
other team had injured players, so that was
West Virginia cleaned them out in that game. That was it. Was not enough wrong.
Although he did say he liked the under.
There it is. Henry brought it up. 20 plus 24.5.
He's bad. He's bad with total. So I didn't even share the under, and that went way over. So I actually knew enough to filter that. I made a mistake. So at least we know the handicapper was spot on.
That happens. That happens from time to time. You do have Kentucky tonight, Texas A&M, TCU, Baylor, Penn State, Maryland, Michigan, Northwestern. Speaking of Michigan, Northwestern, did you get a piece of Michigan last night when they were down to Northwestern in the second half, Doug? Before they went on like a 40.
No, Mastero did. He sent me a screenshot. He got minus 135 because when I looked, it was minus 5.5 points. So he literally got the nut number on that.
Wow.
So well done. I thought we had a shot to cover, to be honest.
How about that? Nice job by Mastero there jumping in with Michigan for us. So there you go. Thursday night in college hoops, both with the men's and the ladies. Okay, before we get cooking here, let's do a few things with the hockey for tomorrow. Now, there are, Doug, 4 games in the men's Olympics tomorrow for the hockey, including some early ones, 6:10 a.m. East. Now, Doug actually might still be up on the West Coast, so 3:10 a.m. on the West. Maybe we can get Doug still up to watch Sweden and Finland because he is Dougie Pucks. He got both teams to score. in the first period for the United States and Latvia. Sweden minus 186, Finland plus 160. The total's 5.5. I'll say this. This is the first game where you have 2 of the 4 full NHL teams playing each other, Doug. And Finland is desperate because they got upset by Slovakia. They go 0-2. It's going to be a long road for them to even try to get into that semi in the medal game. I think this game is going to be tight. I think that Finland's going to play this game real tight because they need points badly in it. And Sweden, of course, wants to win because they want to be in that top 3 with the United States and Canada to avoid both of them until the Final Four. I know 5.5 in these Olympics looks a little, and when we talk about this with NHL all the time, we don't want to do the 5.5 slot. I think here it's an under. I think this is going to be a very low, tight scoring game with these two who know each other very well.
What's the penalty situation in these Olympics? Are the refs swallowing the whistle?
I think it's a little hard with the games where you have one team that's so much better than the other. I think it's hard to figure that out.
That's a good point. We haven't seen like some evenly matched games.
This is the first real best on best game of the tournament. And if Finland didn't lose the first game to Slovakia, I might feel a little differently about the game. But I think they've got to play this game super tight. They have to get something out of this game. Even if it's an overtime loss or something, they need to play Sweden tight. I don't see this game, especially with an earlier start, too. Now, 6:10 a.m. for us. I guess they're playing.
It's not 3 in the morning for them.
It's not, but it's still an afternoon as opposed to a night. Like these 3 o'clock games are the night games there. Must win for Finland. I don't know if they'll get it. I don't know if they will either, Steve, but I think that they're going to keep the game tight. So even though it's 5.5, Doug, I'm going to take the under with Sweden and Finland early in the morning.
All right. I'm going to pull the Costanza and just leave the room. Go out on top.
Go out on top. With the both
I nailed the 1-1 plus 950, the plus 225. Like what? I can only go downhill from here.
Yeah, I know. I understand. That was too good that you came out with that yesterday, and it came to fruition here this afternoon. There is another 6 o'clock in the morning game as well, if you're interested with Slovakia and Italy. But I'm not interested, Doug, so I don't think that you should be either in Slovakia. It is a big game for Slovakia, a chance to go 2-0 to start against that Italy team. So good for them. Czech Republic's playing France tomorrow. They're looking to bounce back. You know what I would do there, Doug, honestly? They're coming off getting shut out by the Canadians today. This puck line they have listed right now at 3.5 minus 113. France is not good. They lost
3.5 puck line.
That's a 3.5 puck line. France lost, was it 4-0 or 5-0 today to the Swiss? They lost 4-0 to the Swiss today. And the Swiss don't have as much firepower as the Czechs. I maybe would go, I might get greedy. -4 at plus 140. And then I can push too if they win by 4.
Didn't they just lose 5-0 to Canada?
They did, but Canada is another level, and then France is on the absolute other side of the spectrum. Czechs have they have NHL guys, they have Pasternak, they have Nashis, they have guys who are probably going to be upset after getting blanked today, and they're going to take it out on poor old France tomorrow morning. So that could be a good.
He is to look up friendlies. So Flash Score does a really nice job of this. When I was doing all my water polo research. The key is the Czech pass games and stuff like that. Yeah. So France, is Norway that bad? They beat Norway too. Now some of these, it's like the B teams playing.
Well, that's the thing.
One of the coaches is officiating, but
it's hard because, and that's why I hate these because these guys never play in any other international games. The Czechs are never bringing Pasternak and Nashis and
because it's in the NHL.
Like it's just these are the only international games that these guys play, so it's hard to dive into it. And Swiss and Canada tomorrow. Canada looked real good today, Doug. I'm not gonna lie to you. They looked really strong. That was a really, and even that kid Celebrini scored the first goal for them. He was flying high. Canada probably, hammers them, but 1.5's minus 250. What's 2.5? What's the 2.5 for them tomorrow? Puck line. Yeah, 2.5's minus 137 for minus 2.5. That might be a way that I would play it. Or starts 4-0. Canada plus 325. Starts 4-0. Canada.
Switzerland doesn't score.
Switzerland, or at least they don't score until Canada scores 4. If Canada scored the first 4 goals, we don't have to worry about it after that. Canada starting 4-0 plus 325. Go down 3-0 at plus 155. Ladder it.
Look, I laid some big lumber in the Women's World Cup, so I'm not afraid to lay lumber. I
think Canada
this could
minus
be 3-0. It could be 3-0 after 1 too. Like that's the thing with these things.
I think Canada minus 2.5 at minus 137 is a good play tomorrow. I don't. Swiss has a couple NHL guys, but Canada's lethal watching them today. They are so dangerous. Yo, Doug, we need elite water polo capping when the World Championships come around this summer. Henry's looking for the elite water polo capping.
I've crushed it the last 2 Olympics. We're spoiled, though. We got to wait 4 years now. I don't know if we'll see. So there's a national league right now in the U.S. for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the best U.S. players don't have to go play overseas. Some do and play for like Pro Reco and things like that. But there's some like a top level actually in the States. So I don't know what the betting is when it's international, but the U.S. is getting better, man. They took the bronze, I want to say, this year. So we're getting better.
You guys crushed it last night. It really does pay to watch. Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Sorry, I did well with water polo in the last Olympics.
So really, so you were into these guys aren't kidding around. You were in on the water polo.
No, I played in high school and college, and my high school was a factory. My old coach was the U.S. Olympic coach when I was in high school. So it's like having Coach K as your like high school basketball coach. So I have former teammates who played and all that stuff. So I still talk to them, and it's such a small world. You kind of know things. And the odds makers don't really know a ton. So just talking to some Olympic level national team coaches, things like that ahead of time. Because, I'm like, I've texted them all the time, and, you watch the sport, it's changed and things like that. So there's already text threads, and then you kind of know how games are going to go. So, and then I look at the betting lines. I'm like, all right, this doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make a lot. There it is. Water polo. Into it. I like it, Doug. That's great. By the way,
United States Rivers to hang some numbers here.
They did score again just now. A power play goal for the United States, now 3-1. I'm so annoyed that I didn't grab the 2.5, the 1.5, whatever it was that at that moment. It was 2.5 is where the puck line was.
Live bet Latvia 40-1 right now if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
You need about 400 to 1 to bet.
You're gonna need a lot for me to get in on Latvia. The hockey is great, and it has started, and it's awesome. Can we get Gensel to score? Is that possible? Maybe before we go. There you go for this evening. What do you say? Best bets in Daily Double, Doug, for tonight? Let's do it.
I really wanted to go NBA, but I just couldn't find it. These props are not there, so I'm all right. We're gonna have to sweat this one out. The old rock fight. Gonna have to bring the slingshot to the rock fight with Marist and Merrimack.
Oh wow, Marist and Merrimack tonight is the rock fight game that Doug. So you're going under Marist Merrimack. That's going to be your side.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about Gottlieb and the Phoenix of Green Bay. I think this one's a pretty good bet.
All right, Max is gonna have to do the work there. Now, remember, we've had good success with this. When we have a daily double that I can't play, it's usually been very successful. I can't play Marist here in this great state of New York. So we have under 129.5 for Marist and Merrimack. I am going with Hawaii at Bakersfield. I think it's a smash job. I know it's 13. I know it's a very big number. I'm going off of what Hawaii's done when they've come to the mainland against these weaker teams in this conference. They've been the best team in this conference. I'm going to lay the 13.5 with Hawaii tonight at Cal State. So what does that get us, Doug? Hawaii minus 13.5 and the under 129.5 plus 271 this evening at Bet Rivers for us. Not bad. You go. Hawaii and
we
Maris
hit a 282 the other day, didn't we?
Hit a 282 the other day. So let's get another one plus 271 daily double tonight at Bet Rivers. Make it 4-1 United States. The dam has been broken. I believe Brock Nelson again with his second of the game. So 4-1 United States.
That's why we bet first period, folks. That's why we focus on the first period.
4-1 U.S. Doug, tremendous job as always. Now, listen, we got to prepare for tomorrow. A Friday betting weekly live with no NBA, no NHL, a big weekend of college hoops, and I want the breakdown, Doug, for this. I was reading through the format today. We've got the stars, the stripes, the world. They're going to play.
Then great. You can do it on the show tomorrow. Then that's great.
A round robin on Sunday night at the Intuit Dome. I got that big smile on Adam Silver's face while he does it.
They've messed up the 3-point contest. Damian Lillard's in the 3-point contest.
How? He hasn't played all year.
He's got a ruptured Achilles. What's he doing? Like, you're telling me this NBA that averages 40 attempts a game per team doesn't have anyone who can participate in the 3-point contest? All we have are 3-point shooters in this NBA.
Why can't we get this Kneppel in there with the year that he's having? Why can't he go to the 3-point contest? I mean, he's having
it's load management. Who knows with this league? I've been the last sort of defender of the NBA for the last decade. I'm done. The NBA can't figure out tanking, but overnight they bend over backwards to change the rules to appease all the stars, right? Let's do the NBA Cup so we can pay them more money because they don't make enough. Let's incentivize them to try in regular season games. Oh, you don't want stats to count at the end of quarters because you want to protect your shooting percentages? Let's emergency meeting. Let's change the rules. Let's appease the stars and coddle them. But God forbid we change rules for tanking and all this other stuff. It's really pathetic. And they're losing their core fans, man. We've seen this. Heck, we saw it with ESPN. We've seen it with all these other places. They take their loyal fan base for granted, and it's deteriorating. We'll see if it happens with the NFL. They're playing a game in Australia, which is ludicrous. And all this Thursday night football nonsense where they claim to care about safety. At some point, with all these options out there, with the hours in the day haven't changed, still 24 hours. So all the stuff now, more working from home, technology, everything. I mean, look, we're always going to gamble. You and I are fine. We're always going to appreciate all this stuff. But I just worry about some of these leagues and all this other stuff.
I just find it very hard. It's your big crown jewel event weekend, and you want people to tune in on Saturday night to watch Carter Bryant, Keshad Johnson, Jace Richardson, and Jackson Hayes in the dunk contest. Doug, 95% of the public couldn't pick those four guys out of a lineup. Obviously, the diehard NBA. I don't even think some diehard NBA fans are picking Jace Richardson and Carter Bryant out of a lineup.
I'm not even considering watching it.
Yes. Me neither, Doug.
But then again, I've always said, the dunk contest, you just want to watch the top highlights. Right. And then the 3-point shootout, you want to see live.
Dunks. The three's better than the dunks.
Great. I mean, watching a guy get hot, and just you're hanging on every shot.
It's cool. The NBA
they screwed it up this year, so great.
To tank their audience. That they've been working on that, Jern. They have been trying to do that. Doug, great job as always. We will see you back here tomorrow, 4 p.m. East, 1 p.m. Pacific, for a big Friday betting weekly live, and hopefully going for the gentleman's sweep again for the second week in a row after hitting tonight's daily double. Enjoy all the games tonight, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Betting Weekly Live, Betting Weekly Studios, part of the Bet Rivers Network. Have a great night.